So you're from Stratford, Ontario, right?
Yes.
Tell us about your move to Montreal and why Montreal. There was like Toronto is closer. It's a bigger city with bigger, I guess, opportunities. Why Montreal?
So when I was 18, I came to Montreal for the first time with my family to see the Jazz Fest.
Okay.
And Stevie Wonder, it totally changed my whole outlook on where I wanted to go. I was thinking of moving to Toronto or out east to Halifax, but then I came to Montreal and saw the Jazz Fest and just experienced the city, and I moved here the next year.
Wow. And this was when? Of what year did you move?
This was 10 years ago, so,
okay. So it's been a while.
2010, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Been here for 10 years, yeah.
Very cool. And I know, I listened to your album, Golden, and I'd like you to tell us a bit about it. But one thing I noticed that it's sort of like a collage for you, like a scrapbook, a bit of, of your life. It was a different experience than just listening to an album. It was snippets of different types of music. It wasn't just like, I can't categorize it. I can't just say it's like R&B or soul or it's pop.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things at the same time.
Yeah. Could you tell us a bit about the album?
Yeah, so you got it dead on, right? Like it's like little pieces and snippets of different parts of my life. The album itself was in the works for 5 years.
Okay.
So from those 5 years, kind of the songs changed over time, developed more. I would use little snippets from like voice memo recordings I had, incorporated those into the actual songs. I produced everything mostly myself, and it was a learning curve, a learning process for me because I had never produced my own music before. And it was just like a mix of all of these different songs I had written over the past 5 years that I kind of just pieced together and threw in what I thought worked,
It really does reflect it. It's like when the listener listens to it, they do get that that's what you did. That it is like a scrapbook of your life, that the listener's going through, So it's I found that very interesting. I think we lost Lea.
Let's wait a few seconds.
We'll wait a bit.
Just breaking up.
Yeah, we got you back.
You're back.
Okay.
So maybe who are some of the artists that influenced you while recording the album? Maybe people you were listening to at the time.
So one of the main people that influenced my album was Chet Faker. Goes by Nick Murphy now, and his music was kind of the inspiration behind the more like electronic side of my album. Right. And those kind of tracks like Golden. So he was a big influence. Who was another one? Trying to think, like Tom Misch. I love Tom Misch. Lauryn Hill, of course, but like it doesn't really reflect in the album as much. It's kind of hard to say because I have a bunch of different influences from over the years that have kind of inspired me and kind of influenced all of those songs. But definitely Chet Faker was one of the main ones.
Very interesting. And all throughout the album, you're using your loop pedal. So it's a piece of equipment that's super hard to master, but it looks like you got your handle on it. When did you start using it, and how long did it take for you to become proficient at it?
So I started looping a couple years ago. My brother was the one that actually inspired me to start using a loop pedal. And I started off with a very basic one loop station, and then I built my way up to the big one I have now, which is a Boss RC50.
Yeah.
And with that one, you can plug in your instruments and your vocal mic and have everything laid out there. But it took me quite a while to get the, get it under my feet to say,
Yeah.
But and still I'm learning. Like there's still so much that I don't know about it, how to use. But it's a really cool tool to have for sure.
It is a very difficult thing to use.
Timing wise and
Your timing
rhythm.
has to be like really on dot, you know.
Yeah.
But we saw you use it in a video, you know, in a bar, and that's when I told Kev, I go, oh, she's mastered that loop pedal. It was for Syrup Castles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that showcases your ease with it.
Thank you. Yeah. It's tough if you're a split second off on when you press down on the pedal, like your whole song can be thrown off, you know, and you might have to restart. But that's kind of the beauty of it, doing it live, is like people can see you build and do the whole process. And, you know, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake, but like you go with it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So loop pedal aside, what are some of your other favorite instruments for the gearheads out there that watch this? any keyboards or?
I'm not a gearhead myself per se, but I love playing the piano. The piano was the first instrument I learned when I was young. My mom is a pianist. So both my brother and I started off with piano growing up, and I still love playing piano. It's probably my second favorite instrument to my voice.
And on that point, I was going to tell you that your voice is your main instrument. You have a great voice, by the way.
Thank you.
And I noticed the piano notes inside the songs. You know, in the background, there's always that piano notes.
I guess the intervals you're hitting and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The use of the piano is there. You could, you know, you see it, even though you use some digital instruments as well, the piano is always in the background as well. About being a musician in Montreal, our first episode was about, the title is Rock Dead in Montreal. It was more not about the music, but more about the venues that disappeared.
And the bands that played at those.
Because I'm like 52, and the venues that were around 20 years ago, they're not around anymore. You know, I saw a lot of bands there.
Just to name a few, Verdun Auditorium, the Spectrum.
Well, Verdun is being
renovated,
but it used to be a very big music venue. How do you find, is it like for the clubs you play in, you play at Ye Old Orchard, I believe, and like there's clubs like Bistro Jojo and all these places. How is it being a musician today in Montreal?
Well, with COVID going on, it's pretty tough.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah. Well, it was a beautiful experience. Like, one of the reasons why I've stayed here for so long is just because the music scene, the art scene here is unlike any other city I've ever been to, you know? It's so diverse. There's so much culture, so many talented artists in this city. And I would play shows and meet so many people along the way and just make connections and, you know, do collaborations with different artists. It was a wonderful feeling just to be able to play shows, and you never know who you might meet and, you know, who might be there hanging out or have a random jam or, you know,
and
anything.
How about during COVID? I noticed that you're doing park jams. Tell us a bit about that.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So I recently started doing open mics in Parc Jean-Mance because before COVID, I was hosting open mic every Monday at this bar called Local Legend, which is just in the Plateau here. And those nights made my heart so full. Like, you would, again, just meet so many different artists and people from all over, and they'd come together through music and have these incredible nights. And it was really wonderful. And I just missed that so much, just bringing people together through music. So I tried out this past Monday, my first open mic in the park, and ran it the same way as I would at Local Legend, where people sign up, you get 2 songs, you play your tunes, but it's bring your own mic and bring your own instruments. So you're not sharing instruments, you're not sharing things, you know? And it was so lovely, just to have people people gathered again just to hear music and hang out. You know, I think that's what we all were missing so much.
It's fulfilling for you.
Yeah, yeah. So until we can get back into the bars and venues, you know, we'll have to make do and adapt. And yeah, in the meantime, in the park.
So are you staying creative during this pandemic? Are you writing some new material? How are you drawing inspiration? Because I know it's a challenging thing when you're, you know, when the world stops to draw inspiration. So how are you staying in these times?
Yeah, I've been trying to write some new tunes in quarantine. The first 2 months were pretty tough. I was self-isolated for 51 days. I didn't leave my house at all, and I'm immunocompromised, so I really took the extra precautions just to make sure I was being safe.
Mhm.
And so I was kind of forced to self-reflect and kind of deal with all of those inner demons that like you just suppress, you know,
Right.
that we all have. But so during that time I did write quite a lot. I wrote 5 new tunes. And I've been doing some painting and visual arts as well, just trying to like stay creative and yeah, stay positive. Yeah.
So will these songs be on an upcoming album potentially?
Yes, not an album, but I am working on an EP.
EP. Cool.
So I've been in the studio a couple of times, started recording. So now it's just a matter of finishing it.
Cool.
Awesome. And where
Yeah.
do you usually record your stuff?
So my roommate has his own studio in Outremont.
Okay.
So it's just really nice to have a friend that has a studio, you know? Yeah.
On a lighter note, we heard through the grapevine that another Stratford native you had beat in a singing competition. And could you want to tell us about that?
Are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I used to sing with Justin Bieber back in the day. We were in a singing contest called Stratford Star together. We're both from the same hometown in Stratford, obviously. And yeah, it was a really cool experience to have. At that time, he wasn't famous, obviously, but it was just interesting to see his development, like through when I knew him when he was 13, and he's this little kid, like singing Aretha Franklin and Michael Jackson and lots of spunk, and then see him get that famous. Like he's one of the most famous people in the world now. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was definitely it's a cool experience and something to be like, yeah, you know, I beat Justin Bieber in a singing contest. It's kind of funny.
So you're one of the few people to see a singing development like firsthand like that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
How many people?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And where would you like to be in like 5 years from now?
I'd love to go on tour and do, you know, bigger shows. That was my plan for this year, actually. I had a tour planned with this artist, LTs. He's a rapper here in Montreal. And last year we performed at the Jazz Fest together and at Festival d'été de Québec. Mm-hmm. And we had a tour planned to go to like France and Italy and South Korea. Oh, wow. And everything got canceled because of COVID, you know? So I would love to see myself in 5 years doing those kind of shows again and you know, just writing more music, playing more shows, but it's just hard to know what that will even look like in the future, you know?
Yeah. And is there anything you'd like to tell our viewers? Any messages you want to relay?
Any updates?
Anything?
So to the viewers, if you guys are watching this, and if you're a musician or you just enjoy music, you should come out to one of the open mic jams in Parc Jean Mance in the Plateau. And we just do it on the corner of Duluth and Esplanade. And it's a really, really great night of music and lots of different artists, lots of different genres, and a really chill night, you know?
And just to emphasize that they have to bring their own instruments and their microphone for safety reasons. Precautions.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Well, we might just be passing by just to check that out.
You should. You
Is
should.
that on tomorrow?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, we might run into each other there tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing it every week. It was just
Monday.
so incredible to do it. And everyone was like, you should do it every day. Like, I can't do it every day, guys. But every week, for sure.
It's great that you're getting that response. That means people are into it.
Yeah, people want it. And, well, we want to thank you, Lea.
Thank you for your time.
We want to, once everything goes back to normal, we'd like to do another interview with you in person. You know, we can do it in a more personal way. I know Zoom, you know, at least it's taking care of this issue for now, but, you know, there's nothing better than, you know, an interview face-to-face, you know.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the best. And we'll be seeing you shortly. I think we'll probably see you tomorrow, if not the Monday after.
Exactly. That'd be wonderful.
Okay, well, thanks a lot and take care and stay safe.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.